Hi all, this is another one in my series of quick peeks into my various sketchbooks. I know this is a bit back to front for you, but it's Collage sketchbook. And these are little, I think this is it's a gold line, little, you can see like the size of it, hardback sketchbook. And I started doing it when I think I didn't quite know where I was going with my art, and I just thought, oh, do you know what? I'll just do it in some little books, little whatever takes my fancy, just to sort of get the creative juices going again. I don't know why I quite like sometimes doing them in the square. I just think it gives me boundaries, and these were just random bits of, obviously, like you can say, newspaper out of magazines. I drew the lines out, cut out bits. I think I'd got landscapes in mind, but nowhere in particular. I'll just flick through because there is quite a few pages. As you can see, there's pen, ink. At this point it was mainly just paper with lines, dots, oops, a bit more bits of paper there, odd bits of text that I thought might be appropriate. And then as I got going, it developed further, and then there were, I think it was sort of the words as well that began to mean something to me. It's like this one, it's obviously a quote, and I can't remember the person, but it's "so sinks the day star," and I think it goes on to say, like, you know, the sun sets, the stars come out, and then eventually the sun rises again, and, you know, a bit sort of like, no matter how bad you think it is, you know, life goes on. And these are like bits of paper. This is one of those amaretti biscuit papers, you know, walk as if you're kissing the earth with your feet. Just sort of grew this book then. These are odd bits of like the monoprinting that didn't quite make the grade, but I've just used them as a collage. Again, bits that I've sort of tried to fit in the text with the image. Odd random bits that I've found. Then I started to obviously, you know, add in more. This was a bit of old work that didn't make it, and then I've sort of extended it a bit with a wash. Again, just bits of monoprint that didn't work. Back to the other way, using the sort of extending the colours out here. But in time, the book began to be a reflection of how I was feeling each morning, and it became quite meditative, you know, in a way. And it also got me in the sort of, shall we say, the creative vibe. So I didn't walk into the studio thinking, oh, what am I going to do today? It was like I walk in the studio, oh, I'm going to do a page of this, you know. And it's anything, because I've got a box of collage paper down there, and I've also got a tub of where I've printed out and typed out or cut out words, text that sort of, as I say, have some meaning for me. And then I know what I'm going to do straight away. And then once I've done this, I've broken the ice, and then we're on with the day and the creativity. So here you can see it's a bit of the seeds that's that brittle now. It's shattering. But yeah, I've got all bits and pieces, weathered by water, ice and wind, you know, faintly seen. So I've sort of put a bit of tissue paper over there. But yeah. You know, like I say, there's no set pattern for these. It's just, as I say, how I'm feeling on the morning when I'm making these. And sometimes when I have a look back through it, obviously there's pages that I prefer to others, but I haven't torn anything out. You know, this is where I was. It's all a reflection of how I was feeling on that particular day. But I find it a great way to sort of break the ice a bit if you're a bit lost, don't know where to go, where to start. It's a bit similar, you know. There have been, in other books, I've sort of done pull out bits, and I quite like these. That space and the so that this becomes the focus. I quite like that. But yeah, I just find them a great way of breaking your sort of creative rut if you like. It's a great way of breaking the ice in the studio first thing in the morning, and it's also a form of journaling, but without loads of writing, if you like. As I say, these are sort of sometimes how I was feeling at the time. So in a way, it's almost like a journal as well. So yeah, that's my peek into one of my collage sketchbooks.